Morning Flosstube, my name is Nicola, I am simply a stitcher and welcome to my Flosstube. This is Flosstube number 3 and before I even do anything, I just want to say a big massive thank you to everybody so far who has supported me by hitting that subscribe button and the likes and the lovely comments that I've had from everybody. This is a channel that's primarily about cross stitch, but I will cover other crafts if I do any, or if any of you lovely people enable me to do any. So today is the 1st of June and we are at the end of Maynia, and I would like to show you my Maynia progress and a bit of haul, bit of plans, and last but not least a bit of a life update. I also have a couple of things that I want to address from the last couple of videos that have gone out, but we'll get to that in a little while. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do consider doing so. It does help me enormously, because eventually what I'd like to do is to start to do some of the things that you can only do at 1,000 subs, like live stream. I really do fancy the idea of doing some live stream stitching with people. I mean, now I've got another little toy, a new camera, part of haul. It kind of really makes it possible for me to do it, rather than, you know, using my older camera or my phone or, you know, whatever else is to hand. Hubby's got a GoPro, but, you know, I'm not very up on sort of those. I'd sooner have something that I know what a webcam does and I know what a phone does. A GoPro is something completely new and alien to me, but I digress. Anyway, so this is Tuesday morning, it's a little bit before 8 o'clock. I'm doing this today because tomorrow me and my youngest daughter are off to London, and I figured that I'd also like to just to get in my May update before I go. And it looks like one of my this eye looks like it's a little bit bloodshot, but it's okay. Oh, excuse me, morning coffee. Nothing that can't be fixed. Anyway, right, so what have I worked on this month for Maynia? So I planned on doing a Maynia. That didn't happen. I got insta-enabled and also enabled by another YouTuber. My plan was that for the month of May I was going to work on my brother's motorcycle, the piece that I'm doing for him. It's his Kawasaki thing. Not very good on motorcycle names. My plan was to get to about 50%, and I was at just short of 20 at the start of May. I am now up to 38.7%, so I am a little bit away, but you'll see why. Anyway, here is what it looks like now. As you can see, we've got a seat and we've got part of a tank and the rest of the exhaust, and I think it's looking quite good. He likes it, he's seen it, he watches the progress of it quite a lot. And you know, to say that it's a green bike, there's about 12 different shades of green in it, so you know, the lighting's not very good this morning. I either get glaring sunlight or shadow, but you know, I think you get the idea. So that's that. So my plan for this next month with this piece is to put it in a four days a week rotation, and then my other pieces to put in the other 3 days, whether that be one piece or all, you know, each piece on a different day. I haven't decided yet, but I want to kind of reduce the stitching on this one because it's given me a little bit of stitch burnout. For the last 3 days in total, well, I said the last 3 days, for sort of Thursday, Friday and Saturday just gone, I think I didn't make 1,000 stitches across all 3 days, which is absolutely not like me. I'm a 1,000 stitches plus a day kind of girl, but we'll do the figures in a little while. So I had another 2 projects that you've already seen, one of which is Avarice, the Marta Darlig piece, the Heaven and Earth design. I've done nothing. She's been in the box all month. I've done nothing. And Pandemic, the Long Dog sampler, again, I've done nothing. So I was doing really, really well. You know, I'm just a kind of I'm not booking the trend, I'm just doing nothing every month on them, you know. But there we go. So my first new start, Gidge, Amy, Creativity by Gidge, appeared back on Flosstube this last month. Hey, we are so pleased to see her. And she was doing a Maynia, where she was starting a new full coverage large piece on every day in May. I think it's nuts. I couldn't do it, but each to their own. If that's what you want to do, Amy, brilliant. And I really, really hope that you finish all of these pieces. Some of the stuff that she's worked on is the pieces are absolutely wonderful. If you've not seen her before, go and check out her channel. If I remember, I'll link it below. It's Creativity by Gidge, and you'll see her Maynia plans, and then her first Flosstube mid-May, where she, well, it's not her first Flosstube, it's her first May Flosstube, where she went through the progress that she'd done so far in the first couple of weeks. So I reached out to her and I said, you know, I've got one of your pieces that you're doing for Maynia in my stash. How about a stitch along? And she's like, yeah, great. So we were doing this one. Oh God, do you know, let me just turn the brightness down. And this is Heaven and Earth Designs freebie Maui Princess. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these cartoony type pieces, but this one absolutely did shout to me when I saw it. And I thought, you know what, I like that. I'm going to have that in my stash. And as far as I'm aware, it's still a freebie on the Heaven and Earth Design site. If you just go and look under their free chart section, there's 3 or 4 under there. But this one did shout out to me. So I also decided to stitch this one in a slightly different way, rather than doing my square by square diagonals like I've done on my other pieces. I thought I would do this one colour completing cross country, but with 2 colours at a time. 2 colours at a time, not two. And this is how far I've got so far. This is the top left corner, and there's 2 shades of blue in here. I think it's 996 and 820. And I am currently 1.54% complete. This represents just under 3,500 stitches. But hey, it's a start, and it goes in the stats pile. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. So there we go. So I did say I have 2 new starts, and my second one I got seriously insta-enabled. I was scrolling through Instagram as you do, and I find this beautiful picture, and it just reminded me of my honeymoon. My marriage with Andy, who's the village idiot. I've talked about him before. He's not really an idiot in real life, but don't tell him I said that. It's my second marriage, and we'd already planned a trip to Rome, and then we got married and decided to get married just before that trip, so the trip turned into a honeymoon. And I saw this beautiful piece, Emily Brind on Instagram, a Crafty Emily on YouTube, again, I'll link her down below if I remember, posted a picture that she bought this piece and she was starting it, and I was like, oh, do you know, that's gorgeous. That's beautiful. I want it. She's like, yeah, do it. Stitch along, do it. And I'm like, okay. Off to the Etsy I went, bought the pattern about, Etsy works in US dollars, so I think it's about $9. So in Great Britain pounds, it'd have been about £7 or something like that. But this is the piece, and it's a stitch rovia called City of Love, and as you can see, because the buildings look very Italian-esque, you can see why I fell in love with it. And also cop a load of those beautiful colours, you know, blues, green, purple, pinks, beiges, browns, and it all works so well. So Stitch Rovia piece, Emma Congdon, available on her Etsy shop, and definitely well worth the stitch. As you can see here, still not used to this left and right thing. 6 pages, and I'm already about halfway through the first page, but I'm working it diagonally, which you'll see in a moment, stretching across to the next page. I put this piece in my scroll frame so it might creak, and worked out how to put it on my stand so that I can use it on my stand, but it's still not great because it's like all you hear is just this creaking sound. Oh, excuse me, that morning coffee keeps repeating on me. I really shouldn't film at this time in the morning because I still haven't woken up yet. This still warm, just saying. Anyway, here is my progress so far. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this, and I love it. This one I'm stitching on 14 counts Ada, because I'm an idiot and forgot to mention it. Both of the other two are being stitched on 25 counts Magic Guide 1/1. Idiot. This one is on 14 count Ada, so it kind of changes the stitch up from being something that's very small. It means that this one, because it's a much bigger fabric, and it turns the stitch very easy, so it's a nice stitch for me to sit and do when I'm not necessarily focused on the 25 count stuff. And I don't mean focus as in seeing it, I mean focus as in my head. Those of you who've been here before will know that I'm quite open about my mental health issues, and again, we'll go into that a bit more later for those of you that want to stick around. I know some people are only here for the stitching, I get that. So I found myself picking this up on and off over the last couple of weeks, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Every time I post a picture of it on Instagram, I don't know if it because of the tags I use or what, but it does seem to hit the home page and I get a bunch of new followers from it, and which is fabulous. But come over to my YouTube as well, come and see what we're doing over here. It's not all about Instagram, you know. Anyway, so that's that one, and I reckon I'm probably about, and haven't got this into Pattern Keeper. I'm working this one off the paper because if I put it into Pattern Keeper, I have to spend all day putting in the thread numbers and stuff, and I haven't got time for that. I just want to get on and stitch. I reckon I'm about 1/8 of the way in, but I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's that one. And that, my friends, is all of my stitch progress for this month. So, as I say, next month, this coming month in July, what I want to try and do is to have a rotation, work 4 days out of 7 on my brother's piece, and then in the other 3 days put in another piece, whether that be Avarice, Pandemic, the Merry Princess, or the City. It's just whatever I fancy. I think that's the only way I can work this, because as you know, I stitch what I love. Numbers, for those of you who like the numbers. So in May, over the 31 days. My worst day I completed 292 stitches. That's how rough things were. My best day I did nearly 1300. So in May I completed a total of 30,010 stitches, and for the year so far, because I am doing the Stitch Around Iceland in full coverage fanatics, my ear is itching. I'm so sorry, I keep putting my hand up here. It's because my hair is slightly over my ear. For Stitch Around Iceland I'm doing the hard thing, which is like 389,000 stitches over the year, and so far for the 151 days that we've had in 2021, my stitch total is 100. I can't even read the bleeding numbers, do you know? 159,216 stitches. That's from the 1st of January to last night, because I haven't done a stitch yet today. Still struggling with the morning coffee. The bed's still warm. Anyway, for the 151 days, that works out at an average of 1,054 stitches a day, which is great. I'm a 1,000 stitch a day girl, or more if I can, but usually I get to the 1,000. Last month it was slightly higher. My average was 1,076 a day. So because I've had a couple of really tough days this month, it's obviously impacted on that, but it's nothing that can't be recovered, I don't think. So we'll have a look and see what the averages are. Don't ask me what I did on each individual piece, because I haven't got a clue. I just know my monthly totals. The other stuff, I'm sure it will come in time on the more Flosstubes that I do. And I think it also depends on what anybody that's watching this would like to know. But anyway, so that's my totals. Alright, so had a bit of haul this month. As I said to you before, my haul will unlikely to ever be fabric and thread, because I have a massive stash in my conservatory. Can't fit anything else in there because of fabric and thread, but we'll not talk about that. It's a bit of a bone of contention with the husband, but it's my hobby. He has his GoPro and goes out village idioting. He went to Kent last week. Again, we'll talk about that a bit later. His equipment is a GoPro. Mine is a heck of a lot more. But anyway, so haul. He went away and he came home with a bunch of gifts for me. I had a lovely necklace, and I had a little plaque and a little unicorn saying thingamy, Anthem Stitchy Stash. He knows me so well. This was one thing that he could find that he thought I might like, and it's the DMC. It's in a 12 thread, so it's the threads. I don't know if you can see that I've got. Yeah, you can just about. Got a little bit of sparkle in them, and this is obviously the zodiac sign of Pisces, and it's on navy blue Ada. It'll be 14 count, 6 colours, and I'm looking forward to starting that. It's not a full coverage, so it shouldn't take an awful long time to do. Now, we don't have any Pisceans in this house, but I like this. It looks nice. It's a nice picture. Anyway, so that's that. Obviously my Emma Congdon pattern, City of Love, also falls under haul, and it's actually going to be kind of haul times 2, if you like, because one of my friends has strong connections with Italy and has asked me to stitch it for them as well. So I get to stitch it twice. Yay! Which is all good when you love a pattern. If you love it, you're stitching what you love, you want to do it again. I've had this a couple of times. I stitched the New York skyline for somebody many years ago. It was a John Clayton kit, and I loved it, and I did it again. But anyway, right, so what else did I get in haul? I got some plastic thread. You can't call them plastic thread cards because they're not card. So plastic thread holders, I suppose. A pack of 10, got them off Amazon, about £8 or £9. Because obviously, Twinkles, kitting up another kit meant that I had to buy some more thread cards, because the first 10 that I bought a while back have all been used up. And the other thing that I bought, I've tried to put it in this little box because I would lose it. The other thing that I've bought, if you can see that, it's a snag nabbit. Yeah, it's not really showing very well. Oh God, what a face I made there. Snag nabbit, so it means it's pointed on, well, dull point on one end and smooth for the first half and rough at the far end, which means that any threads that have not tucked in, you can use this to tuck them in, because I'm getting that quite a lot. I think it's probably just me not being cautious on how I end threads off. And I want to talk about this little haul. And I know, I said I won't buy threads because I have them, and I bought threads. Browsing through Facebook, and you know how you get these targeted adverts, probably because I'd been looking at Gecko Rouge's website and Etsy and what the other ones, like Cross Stitch Collectibles, oh God, I can't think of the names, but anyway, you all know the ones that I mean, you know, the Heaven and Earth, Pain Free Crafts, Charting Creations, and so on. You can look through websites. So Facebook then targets adverts like that. And I spotted this one, and it said, if you buy these flossers and try them, well, to try them, we're looking for product testers, we will refund you the money. And I thought, fab, let's have a go at that, because even if I can't use them on my stuff, the kids like to do their bits of stitching, and they might make bracelets and, you know, that kind of stuff. So it was like, I think £5.50 or something daft like that. £4.73 kind of rings a bell in there somewhere. But you had to basically click through onto Amazon via this link that they gave you, find the right thread, buy the thread, and then when it was delivered, you got the money back. So, what they are, they're not genuine DMC, I know that, but they all have DMC numbers on them, and they seem to be the most popular. I've got 820, 823, 700, some of the 700s, some of the reds in the 800s, 321, there's an Ecru, 3032, B5200 in there, 839, and so on. Sorry, it's in one of those horrible crinkly packets, and I know some people get triggered by that, like they get triggered by park threads, but hell, this is my floss tube, I'm doing it. So I figured I'd give them a try. I'll use them on a small project, I think. Probably something where I can put my, do my own design or something like that. I don't think they're 8 metres. I think they're either 4 or 6, because they just don't feel meaty enough to be an 8 metre skein of thread. And you also got a little gift with them. You got a pack of large, thick, golden-eyed, pointed needles. So like, you know, proper, you know, fabric sewing needles, not cross-stitch needles. My brother's already nobbled those off me because he needs to do some repairs to his clothes and he can't see the small-eyed ones. So There's a pack of those, and then there was also this one, crinkles again. And we got the seam ripper. If I could talk, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Some bobbins, some plastic bobbins, so there's about 8 or 10 in there. And a needle threader, which you can't even see, but out there you can probably just about see it there. So, and I can tell you, if you see the advert on Facebook for Avon Fair, AVENFAIR, and it says messages and we'll tell you how to do this, you will get the money back. Well, that's my experience anyway. I haven't seen anybody on there yet that said they didn't get their money back. And that's it. That's my haul. Okay. So, for those of you who are here for the stitching, thank you so much for your company. Thanks for coming back. If you're coming back, if you're returning, if you're new here, I hope you like what you've seen and you'll consider pressing that button down there and subscribing to my channel. If you ring the bell for the notifications, you will also know the next time I put a video out. I'm at the moment putting out a Flosstube once a month and a stitch with me in the intervening 2 weeks. This month's stitch with me, I worked on the City of Love piece. The previous stitch with me, I worked on Pandemic. Who knows where it'll be this next coming couple of weeks. Anyway, so if you're only here for the stitching, I'll bid you farewell and take care and happy stitching. And we'll talk a little bit about addressing a few things that have happened on my channel and life. So, this is a young YouTube channel. Young as in the respect that it's like 2 months old, maybe. I've got 300 people that want to sit and watch my videos. Fab. If you do not like me or like what I'm doing, press the unsubscribe button and walk away. There is no need whatsoever for the comments that I have had that have been personally directed at me. There's plenty of other content out there. If you don't like me, off you go. I've no time for you. I've had to block and remove comments at least twice this month. I think it's pretty sad that people, all they can find to do is to find somebody like me who's putting out content from her home and decide that, I make an easy target. I'm not having it. Move on. On the upside, now that's the crap out of the way, because, not everybody will excuse me, not everybody will be interested in what I do. I get that. But now that's the crap out of the way, let's go on to the good stuff. Right. I've put out 4 videos so far. The response I have had has been overwhelming. Overwhelmingly positive. I'm a 40-odd-year-old woman. I have mental health issues. I have a family. I have a job. I've worn my heart on my sleeve, and I've always have done, and I've been very honest about me and about who I am. The support I have had has been nothing short of outstanding, and for every single person who has left a lovely comment down below on any of my videos, you all should give yourselves a pat on the back, because that has given me an enormous boost, a huge lift. I don't have an easy life. I've got, like I said, 3 children. I work from home. One of my children I'm having issues with right now. I'm not even going to go there because it'll just upset me. But some of the things that you guys have said has been enormous to me. people who said that they love what I do. They love the way I am. They find me a little bit funny, which is, you know, my husband says I'm funny all the time, but I don't know. I don't know whether he means funny ha-ha or funny peculiar. I'm self-conscious, as you're all aware. I spoke about it in my last video, about how I sound, about how I look, and the response to that has been, girl, we are here for the stitching, you know, we think you're great, just carry on doing what you're doing. I love you all, you know, without exception, apart from, you know, the shitty people who think, you know, it's good to hide behind a keyboard. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about them again, because they're not important. What's important is what this does for me. So I realised a few things that I perhaps don't sound as bad as I think I do, because everybody hates the sound of their own voice. But I've also realised I really do need to take up my love of walking again and try and shed a few pounds. But that's me, that's my work in progress. I had a couple of comments that I am a UK Flosstuber. There's a lot of us out there, there's quite a few of us here in the UK. It's just a case of really finding them. But best place to start is somewhere like Instagram, because most people will have a location there. And if you do find obviously a UK Flosstuber, then hit us up and follow us. You know, we don't bite. I had a couple of comments about my hair. Let me just take this out. Somebody said to me, I have a great hair colour. Well, here's where I make you all jealous, because this is natural. It's white, it's grey, it's brown, it's beige. There's some blacky tones in there. There's some reddy tones in there. Can you tell I haven't had a haircut in a couple of years? I don't mind. It's okay. I haven't used a colour on my hair in years. I just, you know, think, well, you know what? I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm just let it go as it is. Just let it go naturally. So yes, it's all natural, I'm afraid. When I was a younger girl, I was not ginger, but I was a redhead, which probably explains, you know, my fiery temper. Because I do have a bit of a temper. You wouldn't think it by looking at me, you know, butter wouldn't melt and all that, but I do have a fiery temper. So yeah, so that's the hair, and it is thick, and sometimes I don't brush it for 4 days. That's just because of what's going on in here. This month's been very difficult. Again, I'm not making myself do a video because I always said I was going to do this one after Maynia finished. But this month's been difficult in terms of my mental health, because I've had moments during this month that I didn't get up much early, you know, like I usually do. 5 AM is my start time. Didn't want to get out of bed. When I got out of bed, I didn't want to get dressed. In fact, there were a couple of occasions where I didn't get dressed for 2 or 3 days. Kept myself clean and things, you know, but just didn't get dressed. And the hair didn't get any attention whatsoever, because it just didn't seem important. And I felt I had to focus on other stuff. Did coincide with the time that I didn't really want to stitch. Andy was away last week in Kent filming for The Village Idiot. It was a time in my life that I really could have done with him here, but this trip had been arranged for so long, I didn't want to sort of say to him, please stay at home. So as a consequence, when he was away, I didn't sleep much. It almost took me back to when the children were very little, and my ex-husband, who used to work away, I didn't sleep very much then either, because I was the responsible adult. Even though, you know, Hannah, my eldest, is an adult, I still feel like I have the ultimate responsibility. So during last week, if I got 4 hours sleep a night, that was a lot. And what sleep I did get was very broken. And of course I didn't feel like stitching, didn't feel like getting dressed, didn't feel like brushing my hair. All I did do was just function at a very basic level. I think I'm coming out of that now. I'm coming out of the funk that I've been in. I sat and I think I did about 1,000 stitches on the Italian cities piece yesterday. No, not yesterday, the day before. I'm lying. Yesterday was a bank holiday. I did 500. Andy took me out yesterday away for the day to go and see a friend of mine in Derbyshire. I'm in Yorkshire. She's down the road in Derbyshire. It's about an hour away. And that was lovely, you know, to get out. And if you see a slight bit of redness in my complexion, it's because my skin is lily white. I have absolute prison pallor. And the second I go out in the sun, doesn't matter what kind of season, what season it is, I just burn like that. And it's one of those burns where I don't even realise until I've come home. This was yesterday. Got home about tea time. Sat and did a bit of stitching. Caught up on my Flosstubes. Andy says, shall I make us some food? Yeah, great. And then he come in to me and I went, my face feels very tight. And he went, yeah, you've caught the sun, girl. I was like, oh, hell no. It's better this morning. I can move my eyebrows. So I'm sure you can see. But it doesn't help because, I don't know if you can see just sort of here, I've got eczema. And it doesn't help. But it's one of them things. And I have a feeling over the next couple of days, it ain't going to get any better. Me and the youngest, Mini-Me, my youngest daughter, we are off to London. She's having her first trip to London. She wants to go. I don't think we're going to get out of King's Cross because of platform 9 3/4. She's Harry Potter mad. She wants to do the experience like riding on a tube train and go to Oxford Street, do a bit of shopping. And I think I'm going to come back with two things. One thing is very sore feet, and the other thing is a very red face. So, think yourselves lucky. It's a month. I'm going to have to tie this back because it's driving me crazy. Think yourselves lucky that it's a month before I do my next video, lads, because otherwise you'd be sat there, not here, that would be very weird, sat there looking at a beetroot. Anyway, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about this month. But again, I know it's the third time's the charm, right? Just wanted to say again, thank you very much. You have made the difference that you cannot see. Well, you might see. Your comments, your kindness, your words, your love for what I do has been huge. And I can't thank everybody out there enough for that. 300 people all over the world. I have messages from people in America and all sorts of people in Denmark, and 300 people, 300 of you want to watch me. I love it. Love it. So I'm going to go. It's a little after 8:30 in the morning now. I'm going to go and set the bike back up, I think, and have a little stitch on that. Have a bit of breakfast, something slimming. We'll not talk about weight. That's the next thing on my agenda. is to actually get back to me, because this lockdown has had a huge effect on the waistline. I'm going to a wedding next month. I'm going to look like, you know, just as a quick one. I said about looking on Facebook, I found Avon Fair for the threads. I also found another one that said rockabilly style dress. You know, I thought, oh, I love that. I'm going to order it. It's an auction, or, you know, like a lowest bid wins kind of thing. And I won it. What size do you want? And I thought, well, better get a 2XL, because it's continental or American or whatever sizes, and, you know, they don't do like a... I'm not telling you all what size I am. You can guess. And this dress came, and it's beautiful. It's this gorgeous burgundy colour, and the bit over the chest area is like a satin. Beautiful. Do you think I can get one boob in it? Can eyeballs? It fits the 12-year-old. Guess I'm back to square one, looking for a dress for the wedding. That'll be another thing for London. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you all any longer, because this has already been going on for over 40 minutes, and I'm pretty sure that some of you have nodded off by now. I'm going to say see you next month. Take care. Stay safe. Happy stitching. Stitch what you love. And I will see you all in the next one. Hopefully a few pounds lighter. And I don't just mean in my purse from London. You all know what I mean. Bye for now, Flosstube.